Where did the origin of gnome hate come from? Okay. It all started in vanilla in 2005. I know it came out in 2004 in America. It came out in 2005 in this country. Although I didn't play when it first came out, a couple of months later. Now, to begin with, I just thought gnomes were just foolish. Then I started raiding. And the thing about gnomes is a lot of them were mages. And they looked so smug when they did Arcane Explosion is first of all what started it. So, you know how I did this in my gnome video, actually. I did a gnome video last year on why they're not the master race. Because I had a load of gnomes try and bully me on Twitter. It didn't work. And they jump up in the air like they're doing something special. And they're just casting Arcane Explosion. That's what started it. So what I used to do in vanilla is try to get them killed. So what I would do, like, often gnome mages would, like, go very high on threat. So I would wait until they were just below the tank on threat. And then I would bop the tank. So they'd lose aggro. The thing would go over and smack the gnome. And this was all... And I'll tell you what another thing we used to do. And this was when I was raid leader. I abused my position like you wouldn't believe. So I organised all the paladins so that whenever there was a wipe, we were all assigned a... Now, this was warlocks. We couldn't do this for mages. The mages just died. They were fine with it. So what we would do, the warlocks would all disappear off and try and hellfire, which cost them life. And it meant if they died through hellfire, they didn't get a repair bill. Much like now, if you die from, like, spell damage, like standing in fire, you don't get a repair bill. So they used to hellfire themselves to death to get out of repair bill. So what we used to do, and they were invariably gnomes, I used to assign a paladin to each one. We'd go off and heal them until the boss ate them. And then we would, one of us would just divine intervention, which in those days was a way of keeping someone alive. You could use divine intervention on someone. It would kill the paladin, but you got no repair bill. And then the other person would stay alive for like 30 seconds. So as long as you were like one of the last people the boss reset because it took you out the fight, then you would get away with that repair bill as well. So then... And that was sort of how it went. And then in TBC, it went up a step because I was still sort of healing for a bit. And then I started to play Ret more and more. And then I changed to Ret completely. So I became a melee DPS. Unfortunately, in a guild whose main tank was a gnome warrior. Now, here's the other thing about gnomes, is when they get hit, they squeak. You must have known. If you played a gnome, when something hits you, go, eh! It's annoying. It is annoying. And then, when you're a gnome tank, you get hit a lot. So you squeak a lot. And then the other thing is, when you've just changed to melee, you're quite close to the tank. So you hear this thing constantly. It's annoying. To the point where it just, I used to have I got a twitch from it. It was maddening. Eventually, I remember in Cataclysm, because people again knew this thing about gnomes with me, there was a fight, Spine of Deathwing, where you had to gather the bloods up. So a tank would gather the bloods up and someone would be in charge of killing like one at a time so you had the right number to blow up the spine thing. And they assigned me to do that because they also assigned, and they did this on purpose, a gnome Death Knight tank to gather the bloods up. So they were getting hit all the time, squeaking all the time, and they knew I would be in earshot. And people keep saying to me, why don't you turn the sounds off? I said, why should I? Why should I turn the game sounds off? But there is one nice sound they do make. When they die, that's actually quite a good sound. So, I do like to stand next to gnomes when they're about to die. So in a nutshell, that's why I don't like gnomes. But I did do a video on why gnomes are not the master race. Maybe I should put this up and link that again. Swap appearance. People do that a lot. People actually turn me into gnomes. I instantly remove that, of course. I have a way of encouraging people not to be gnomes. I have an encouragement technique because I've been quite successful. I've been in a lot of alliance guilds where there were gnomes in it at the start of it and not there a few months later. I've been pretty good at bullying people to either race change or just leave. So I'm merciless with my bullying of gnomes. I do not miss a single opportunity. So, and this guy, if I do have to recruit this gnome, I will have to say to him, if he does decide to join us, that he will be bullied mercilessly. mercilessly. Because I will have the piss taken out of me for recruiting a gnome for a start off. So it's only right. But yes, I have a psychological thing about gnomes now. The game, after whatever it is, 12 years, has done this to... Well, not quite 12 years for me. It did come out, actually, pretty close to... Because it was March, wasn't it? March 2005 when it came out. I played it in May. I started playing it in May. So it's nearly 12 years since I started playing it. And I wasn't very keen on gnomes in Warcraft 3. I don't even know why they were in it. I don't know why they were ever made into World of Warcraft. It was so pointless.